everyone, welcome back to Crochet State of Mind. In this video, I'm going to show you how to construct a cardigan from scratch using method 2, which is the one panel method. If you haven't already, please check out the part 1 of this series, which is how to construct a cardigan using the 5 panel method. Okay, so continuing on with the series, we're going to start with our cutout of the cardigan. So this is a cardigan in its final stage like this, but this is how we're going to construct it. So with the one panel method, you're starting with the sleeve and you're going all the way across to the other sleeve. So I've heard of this method also called the cuff to cuff, because you're starting from one sleeve cuff all the way to the other. I call it the one panel method. Now there's many ways of which you can do the one panel method, but I'm showing you this way, which is from the sleeve to the other sleeve. Okay, so just as with the other method, you're going to need a measuring tape, and you want to measure the different body parts for this cardigan. For this method, you're going to need measurements for your sleeve, which is going to be from your shoulder all the way down to your wrist, or if you want it all the way down to your fingertips, you can do that. Then you're going to need your measuring tape to measure the length of the cardigan. And because this is going to be one piece, you want to measure from the bottom to the bottom. So take your tape measure, and let's say you want this cardigan to be from, let's say, just below your butt. And so you want to take it from the back all the way up through your shoulder, over your shoulder, all the way down the front, right? So you just measure the entire length of the cardigan in one piece. Or the alternative is you can measure from your shoulder to wherever you want the cardigan to end and multiply that by 2, right? So if you want this to be from here to here, so we have about 3 inches, then the total length of your cardigan will be 3 times 2, which is 6 inches, okay? So that's the next thing. The other thing you want to measure is your shoulder to shoulder, okay? So shoulder to shoulder. As with the other method, I'm doing shoulder to shoulder plus 2 to 4 inches of ease, okay? Because I want my cardigans to be loose around the shoulders. I don't want them to be too tight. And I also don't want my sleeves to be too tight around the biceps. So you're going to measure your cardigan from shoulder to shoulder plus your however many inches of ease you want. An alternative way to get the width of the cardigan is you can measure your hip circumference. So take a measuring tape, measure your hips, the widest part of your hip, and whatever that number is, you're going to divide that by 2. Okay, so there are multiple ways you can get that, but you need the measurement of this, so the length of your sleeve. The width of your sleeve is going to be the circumference of your bicep, or the largest part of your arm. So once you have that, you're going to divide it by 2, and that's going to be the width. That's going to be this measurement here. Okay, so you have the length of your sleeve that you need to measure, the width of your sleeve. The width of the cardigan is going to be your shoulder to shoulder plus the 2 to 4 inches of ease, or the circumference of your hips, okay? And then you're going to leave some space for your neck. So I typically leave about 2 to 3 inches for the neck. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the full measurement of this, so shoulder to shoulder, minus your 2 to 3 inches. So let's say you want 3 inches for your neckline. You'll do the shoulder to shoulder minus the neckline, and whatever you get, you're going to divide that by 2, and that's going to be the two front panels. Okay, so let's get started with how to construct this cardigan. And to help me do that, I have the finished miniature cardigan here to help you follow along. Okay, so I started with the sleeve, okay, which is this part right here. Don't worry about this tapered sleeve. This requires some increases and decreases. We're not going to worry about that. But essentially, you're going from the sleeve all the way down to the other sleeve. And this is what it would look like. Okay? Starting with the sleeve, we're working in rows. And we're working the bottom of the sleeve up. So from here up. And so what that would look like is you're going to start with either a foundation, single crochet, foundation half double, foundation double, or a regular chain, and then your rows. So I'm starting here and I'm going across. I'm going across until I reach the desired length of my sleeve. Okay, so I'm here now. Okay, now from this point on, what you're doing is you're stopping. So you're essentially going to have just this at first. You're just going to have this rectangle. Okay, that's going to be your sleeve. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to take You're going to cut your yarn, and then you're going to start a new chain. Okay, so you still need this, but now this is by itself. This is just this. You're going to take your yarn and your hook, and you're going to form a chain. And that chain is going to be the length of your cardigan divided by 2. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to get the length of your cardigan from here all the way to here. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing going across. But what that's going to look like is you're going to crochet your chain all the way here, and you're just going to keep going. Okay, so you're actually not going to stop. The reason why you want to have the measurements, because this has to be the same as this, unless you want your cardigan to have the back panel longer than the front panels. But if you want everything to be the same, then you want to chain the same number of chains you're going to need here needs to match the same number of chains here. Okay, so you're just going to crochet either single crochet or slip stitches, but you're going to join that new chain that you just started with the sleeve that you had finished. So you're just going to chain. When you get here, you're going to pick this up and you're going to keep going, right? You're just going to insert your hook into the top of your stitches here. And you're going to keep going across, and then you're going to keep going here. So you're going to have a starting chain here that's joining your sleeve, and another chain that keeps going, right? And that's how you get this. And now you're just going to keep going across. So we're going this way, turn our work, okay, going this way, and we're going to keep going and going and going until we get to here. Here is the neck, okay? Because you don't want to just keep going, right? If you just keep going, there's not going to be any opening, right? So you're going to keep crocheting until you get here. Now, how do you know where to stop? You get the middle, so the midpoint of your sleeve. This is going to be the middle, and that's where your shoulder is going to be, okay? So just keep crocheting until you get to the middle, which is right here. You'll see there's a tiny line here. This is to indicate the middle, because you need this middle so that when you're done, you can fold it like so, okay? So just crochet and crochet and crochet until you get to the midpoint, right? So once you get to the midpoint right here, you're not going to keep going. Instead, you're going to stop, turn your work, and work the other way. And you're going to keep doing this until you've achieved the width of your neck, and then you're going to keep going. So again, you're going to crochet, 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 crochet. You get here, you stop, and you turn, and you keep going. Keep going, stop, keep going. And now when you come back around, you won't stop, you'll keep going. So you'll have a chain that just keeps going. And then you're going to build off of that chain your next row. Okay, and then you'll just keep going and going and going and going and going. And once you get to the end, okay, you get to the end, you're going to stop. At this point, you've completed this and all of this. So you've completed one of the sleeves, the back panel, and the 2 front panels simultaneously. And now you reach the end. Okay, we don't have this yet. Now you're going to do what we did here. You're going to take your hook and you're going to start crocheting from here to here. You're not going to start from here. You're going to find out exactly the number of stitches that you used here. You're going to repeat that over here. So you're going to take your hook, you're going to insert it here, making sure that the numbers match. Okay, same number of stitches you have here needs to be the same here. Okay, and then you're just going to start crocheting, but you're joining with this. Okay, so you're starting with nothing here, just this. You're taking your hook and your yarn, and now you're inserting it here, and you're crocheting, whether it's single crochets, half double, double, whatever you desire. Then you'll just start crocheting and working your way down the sleeve until you reach the end. And then you're done. So you're done with the construction of the cardigan. The last piece now would be joining the sides, okay? But again, you just started here. You went across, 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 across. When you got here, you stopped. You joined with a chain. I'm sorry, you started a new chain and you joined that chain to your existing sleeve. And then you kept going and you worked off of that chain and you kept going around and around and around. You got here to the neck. You stopped, turn your work, right? And this is the middle of your sleeve, okay? And you kept going a few rows And when you get here and you've reached the width of your neck, you keep going and going and going, making sure that these are identical. Always keep track of the number of stitches. So this is going to require that you have a piece of paper somewhere if you use your smartphone, but you're going to have to write down several measurements as well as chain counts, as rows as well. Okay, so once you get here, keep going, keep going, keep going. Once you've achieved the width of the second front panel and it's identical to the other, you stop. Then you take your hook and you begin to create your sleeve. You're attaching it to this. Now, if you want, you could do your sleeve separately and then just attach it here. That's fine. But I find that this is quicker, right? Because you're not doing the sleeve on the side and then bringing it back. You're just joining it here and then you're working off of this until you're done. So once you're done, you literally have this. So this is what you have. You have this right here. And now what we're going to do is take our cardigan that we just constructed. We're going to flip it like so. And now what we want to do is fold it. Okay? And so now what we're going to do, we're going to take this cardigan and we're going to flip it. And this is still inside out, by the way. We're working inside out. And now you're going to flip it and you have this. Okay? And you can use stitch markers to pin these down and pin these down. Pin these and pin these. You can do that. Okay? What's important is making sure that these are identical as much as possible, right? If you took notes with your stitch count and your row count, these should be identical. Okay, so place them on top of each other like so. Okay, and now all you have left to do is joining. Okay, and you can join using your hook and your yarn and slip stitching, or you can use a darning needle. But whatever your preferred method is, you need to use it to join these. So what you're going to do, and it doesn't really matter, you can start from the sleeve and work your way down in one fell swoop, or you can start here and work your way up. So you can start from the bottom side of the cardigan and work your way up, or you can do it this way. It doesn't really matter. Just be consistent with both, okay? So I like to start here. So I'll start here and work my way. So I'll just join. I'll just take my cardigan like this, okay, and I'll just join. Okay, so it's really important to use stitch markers so that everything is equal on both sides. But if you want to just use your eyes and ballpark it, that's fine too. And so you're just gonna join, stop here. If you want to leave some room for the cardigan to have an opening here, you can stop here, that's fine, or you can go all the way to the end. You do not want to keep crocheting or joining here because then you won't have a cardigan. So again, this way down, and then you're going to repeat that process over here. Okay, just going across. Make sure that when you get to the armpit, you don't do it too tight, because if it's too tight, you're restricting some ease over here, right? If this is too tight, you won't be able to insert your arms. Okay, so just make sure that you also don't skip this section. When you're going down, don't skip this, because then you'll have a big gaping hole. Just go across and go down. Okay, and then you're done. The only thing left to do is weave in your ends. Now, optional, you could add ribbing here, or you can just add a border, a single crochet border, maybe 1 or 2 rows of single crochets over here for the neckline and down. That's optional. I like to start my work with foundation chain so that I have a neater edge, but if not, you can add a border, or you can leave as is. That's totally fine too. And that's it. That's essentially how you construct a cardigan using the one panel method. This is method 2. I will have another method shortly, but for now, this is it for today. Obviously, weave in your ends. Now, I want to say this before I leave. With this method, the reason why I like this method more than the 5 panel, well, not more, but when I use this method is because I don't want to weave in ends. I don't want to weave in as many ends as I would if I use the 5 panel, because with the 5 panel method, you have double the work as far as weaving ends, right? For each panel, there's at least 2 ends that need to be woven in. With this one, you have minimal, very minimal weaving in the ends, and you can also work over your ends, but that's for another video. Okay, I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. Happy crocheting. Bye bye.